Good afternoon, members of Parliament, support staff, members of the media, radio listeners, and those TV viewers. Welcome to this public meeting number 9 of today, Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. I would like to give a special welcome to the Minister of Public Health, Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, Mr. Egbert Duran, and his support staff. We have established a quorum of 12 members. Please let's stand for a moment of silence. I've received notice of absence from MP William Marlin. Does any member of Parliament wish to have the floor for notification? Okay, who's first? MP Rumu, you have the floor.
A pleasant good afternoon to you, Madam Chair Lady. Pleasant good afternoon to the Honorable Minister here, his support staff, to my esteemed colleagues, to the viewing and the listening public. Madam Chair Lady, allow me to have just a few moments, as I believe all of us in here took the oath to represent the people of St. Martin, and I will continue to do so to the best of my ability. I also believe that some of us take our jobs extremely serious, and I also believe that there are some of us who will always play politics because it is the nature of the beast. Let me state here for the record that I respect each and every one of my colleagues in here, and I can actually say that I believe that I do have an amicable relationship with all of you. Nevertheless, I will always be the first one to keep it real and say it as it is. And as I look to my left, my dearest colleague Melissa, and I told her, you're going to be a part of my speech today. And I think we have very candid discussions, even though we may not always hold the same opinion. But I believe that it's always mutual respect, which I believe in here is the most important. But what I also believe is very important, and this goes beyond respect and beyond politics, is that the information we bring forward here on the floor of Parliament to our esteemed constituents is actually based on facts and is the reality and backed up by proof. We live in a society controlled by the media, and a lot of people automatically believe what is posted in the media because they rely on it heavily as a source of information. But I want to stand here today and say that we have to be very careful sometimes with the things that we read and that we want to share and we want to disperse before we actually do our background checks and make sure that everything that we are bringing forward is factual. Today, we are here in a meeting to carry out our functions as parliamentarians. And I believe that no matter the difference of opinions or outcomes, whatever happens here on this floor, we must respect the process to the highest level. The majority of us in here passed a proposal to close the public meeting regarding the land policy and to go back to a central committee meeting to review the land policy as the minister came and presented what was requested of him. In addition to that, we as Parliament had the opportunity to pose questions in the public meeting, and none of us actually took the floor and posed questions. Yesterday, February the 22nd, we had a very fruitful Central Committee meeting where various questions were posed and the draft policy was reviewed in detail. Key topics as well were covered. And here we are today with a public meeting with a very similar agenda points, some may say identical, not only to the Central Committee meeting yesterday, but to the public meeting that was closed by the majority in Parliament as well. Additionally, a meeting that comes on the heels of a fruitful meeting that was held less than 24 hours ago, in which the minister requested time to address the questions and concerns posed. Therefore, I asked myself, Is today's meeting not only redundant, but also premature, knowing that we expect the minister to come back with his answers? Madam Chair Lady, I choose to allow the minister to gather the pertinent information requested of him and address these concerns. I therefore cannot support the continuation of this meeting, and I would have a proposal of order to suspend the deliberations of agenda point 2 and 3 as it pertains to this meeting, Madam Chair Lady. I thank you.
Thank you, MP Ramu. Any other member of parliament wish to have the floor for notification? I see Sir MP Westcott Williams.
And good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon, our Secretary General. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon to the Minister and his entire entourage. Welcome to the House of Parliament. Madam Chair Lady, during notifications, I would like to bring forward my deepest condolences as I express these to the friends and families of the late civil servant, Miss Louise Brill. My niece-in-law, the late Louise Brill. Madam Chair Lady, I want to wish her family, her daughter and her family, heartfelt condolences. It is not an easy time for the family, and it is definitely not an easy time with the passing of Louise. May her soul rest in peace. Madam Chair Lady, I will leave it here for notifications and address any other issue I have at the appropriate time. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Westcott. Next, for notifications, we have MP George Pandaflet. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to the Chair, my colleagues in Parliament, Honourable Minister and his support staff, person who are viewing and listening. Madam Chair, I also want to join my colleague in extending deepest sympathies and condolences to the family of the Brill family, and of course to MP Westcott Williams. And Madam Chair, it might seem strange, but I also want to extend deepest sympathy to the people of the Netherlands who, during the passing of the storm Eunice, lost, I think, 3 or 4 persons died during that storm. And, people say, well, what does that have to do with it? Well, it has everything to do with it because we are part of the kingdom thus far. So, and any loss of life anywhere, Madam Chair, is something that is very, very difficult. So I want to extend our deepest sympathy and condolences to the Netherlands and, of course, people of the Netherlands and the loss of their family, relatives, be it father, mother, and so on. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Pandaflet. I see that MP Solange Duncan would like to have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the SG. Good afternoon to my colleagues here in Parliament. Good afternoon to the Minister and his support staff. I also, too, would like to join my colleagues in wishing much strength and comfort and faith to the family of Louise Brill and friends. I worked with Louise when I worked at immigration, and she was the sweetest lady. I can still see her smiling in front of me, and so it is a great loss for many, and I would just also like to express my condolences to her family. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Duncan. Is there any other member of parliament that wish to have the floor for notifications? I see no need. Then I will just postpone for 2 minutes so that we can prepare for to handle the proposal that was tabled by MP Ramu. Meeting adjourned for 2 minutes. Welcome back, members of parliament. We took a brief adjournment to prepare for the proposal that was tabled by MP Angelique Rameau. So I'm going to, yes, MP Bryson.
Madam Chair, good afternoon once again. Madam Chair, if you'll allow me in the point of order before handling a proposal, we have handled a similar proposal before. And what we have found is that there seems to be a new loophole where the parliament makes a decision to suspend a deliberation or such, and simply a new request is called, the agenda point is adjusted, and then you have the duty indeed to now say, well, I have to call the meeting because it's a new meeting. For me, for that reason, I don't even think going down this route again, where again, with the, as was described earlier, notifications, the inefficiency and wasting of time of a minister who was here yesterday to discuss the very similar topic posed by questions posed by these very members who want to have this meeting, who in the past have said, have walked out of meetings saying that it's a waste of the minister's time, dealing with an airport, a serious issue like the airport. No CC the day before. The faction walks out. Madam Chair, I understand the colleague making an effort to say, let's have another proposal, but I don't see what is going to happen. We need to go back to the CC, deal with this in CC, and I will support any public meeting handling of this as soon as that is done. But for my person, I'm not supporting this meeting any further. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Bryson. And again, I will state for the record, as I stated clearly yesterday, the two agenda points in this meeting is completely different from the agenda point of yesterday's meeting. So we will start with then the proposal by MP Rameau to suspend the meeting. I will ask if any member of parliament wish to have roll call. Hoofdelijke stemming.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
We don't seem to have
we don't have quorum.
Quorum.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yes. Apparently
I
some
will
people
now give the floor over to the griffier to call roll call.
Akeem Arundel. Rolando Bryson. Siddharth Bijlani. Rolando Bryson, Siddharth Bijlani, Chanel Brownville, Solange Duncan, Christophe Emmanuel,
Present.
Melissa Gums,
Present.
George Pantoflet, Rayon Peterson,
present.
Angelique Rameau, Ludmila De Weaver,
Present.
Sarah Westcott Williams,
Present, Madam Chair Lady.
Grisha Heiliger Martin,
Present.
Solange Duncan,
Okay. Okay. Based on the amount of members of parliament that are present, we have 7 members of parliament that are present. That means we have no quorum. So I am then, I would have to now adjourn this meeting until, based on Article 37, which will be called 36, which will be called in the next 4 days. I will have to then reconvene this meeting in 4 days. Members of parliament, thank you for your presence here today. We will now adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.